This, in my opinion, is the next leg of the AI gold rush. If you missed investing in the initial AI boom of semiconductors and like chip makers like Nvidia, Supermicro, Palantir like I did, maybe you also falsely believed, like I did, that institutions and investors, they somehow eventually acknowledge that there's a small online only banking system company that's growing completely rapidly and changing the entire game and is destroying all its competition, eating everyone's lunch, taking more and more market share, yet is still stagnantly sitting there at 750 or less rent over. Well, anyways, what was I talking about again? Oh, right. Well, I think that if you missed that opportunity, you missed the boat. I think that this is your next opportunity, and I really believe that, like, just from all the recent news and all the recent just like things that I've been seeing, that I think this is it. So companies during the AI boom, right, when they were rushing to AI, they all had to increase their infrastructure, right? They had to buy all their chips, they had to buy all their infrastructure to train their models. If you follow the gold rush analogy, they all bought their shovels, they all bought their pickaxes. Now they actually have to go mine for gold, right? At this point, they've already bought all their chips, right? They basically finished investing in their infrastructure, right? They might improve some, right? But they wouldn't completely overhaul their entire chips, like their entire inventory of semiconductors to buy the newest iteration, right? Not every company is gonna just throw away all their H100s and buy the new Blackwell. They have their chips, right? They're sitting on their chips, they're sitting on the infrastructure. Now they need to actually train their data, right? Following the analogy, now that they have their shovels, they have their tools, they have to go find a plot of land, they have to find a patch of dirt and start digging. So what's the corresponding AI example to this patch of dirt? It's data. Companies, they have to use their chips, they have to use their semiconductors to train their models on data, right? And basically, like in training, you're basically mining to improve your AI, right? You're mining that plot of land, you're mining your data to improve your AI, right? They bought all their chips, they have their shovels, they have their pickaxes. Now they have to use them, they have to go mine. And where do they mine? They mine data to improve their AI. So in my opinion, I just feel that companies that are sitting on a large quantity of quality data, right? Just uniquely, like really, really good high quality data, those companies are the next to win big in this cycle, in my opinion. So I recently saw this on the Philip DeFranco show. I don't know if you follow him. He's just quick news. He seems really real. I like him. I've been watching him for like 10 years now. So here it is.
Some of the world's biggest tech companies are running out of resources. And I'm not talking about money or fuel or some rare earth metal. I'm talking about that ooey gooey goodness, data. One of the best ways to make this technology better is simply to have more data to train AI models with. All of the data on the internet is actually not enough. The internet just can't keep up. And companies like OpenAI are actually using data faster than it's being produced. Tech companies could effectively run out of high quality data on the internet as soon as 2026.
As he states, companies are trying to create the best AI, and in order to do that, they need a ton of good data. And these companies are also starved for data. They need good data, right? And they're probably willing, in order to beat their competition, they need to find the best quality data. It doesn't matter if you're trying to create a chatbot, if you're trying to create like self-driving car, if you're trying to create like some type of weather forecasting. You want the best data to have the best AI to beat all your competition, right? So I think the companies that are sitting on these massive like gold mines of data, of high quality data, those are the companies that are going to benefit the most. I just wanted to point you to 3 like events that occurred in just April, right? Of just like companies that are doing business for data, right? So number 1, Tesla and Baidu, right? Tesla sitting on this massive amount of data. For any company that's trying to like create a self-driving car, the amount of data that they're sitting on, you can't beat it, right? Tesla has that data and they're able to leverage it. Any company that's trying to create FSD would be drooling over Tesla's just this ridiculously huge data gold mine. Next thing, CoStar purchasing Matterport. So CoStar is basically, they deal predominantly in just like commercial real estate, right? They create a marketplace online for selling and like in brokering commercial real estate deals, right? Matterport, they're sitting on a ton of unique data for basically they do like almost like a Google Earth of your individual property, right? So it's really good for like if you want to do like a 3D tour, right, of your house, right? And you want to sell it online to just anyone, not just people like in your area, but to sell it to like people all around the world. If you want to do like insurance companies, right, if they want to see like how things look before and after like an earthquake or a fire, then that's really important for that. But regardless of the point, They're sitting on a ton of data, predominantly like residential real estate data, but they do have also commercial real estate data as well. And CoStar, seeing that commercial real estate is kind of dead right now, if they wanted to pivot to residential real estate and brokering those deals as well, competing with the likes of Zillow, with the likes of Redfin, whatever, what's a better company to purchase than Matterport? They're sitting on all this beautiful, beautiful data. Data. I keep saying data. And lastly, of course, if you've seen any of my previous videos, Spire Global. I forget if it was March or April, but Spire Global had a deal with NVIDIA. So the CEO was on a CNBC interview with Manifest Space, and then he talks about basically what he goes over he kind of summarizes this deal, right? So here it is right now.
So from a business model perspective, it gives us access to exquisite hardware and trained AI models in the background that are starved for data that Spire has. And then we can leverage that hardware and run our data through those models and then serve our customers.
Too long didn't read. What Spire Global is they basically manage a bunch of satellites that are constantly monitoring the Earth, right? And they're just collecting all this data, just collecting it and listening and just collecting data, right? And then they basically sell that data to other people to use. In this deal, as the CEO says, there's no real monetary exchange, right? It's basically just a symbiotic relationship. NVIDIA gets to use Spire Global's unique data, and in return, Spire Global gets to use NVIDIA's hardware and their infrastructure. Although Spire Global doesn't get any immediate monetary benefits, think about all the costs that they're saving, right? Unlike Tesla, who had to buy a bajillion like H100 semiconductors, unlike anyone that's trying to buy the new Blackwell, right? Unlike like Microsoft and all those companies that are just throwing money at NVIDIA, Spire Global doesn't have to do that. They're just using the infrastructure that NVIDIA has, even if it's the hand-me-downs, right? Even if Spire Global, instead they didn't get the Blackwell, they got like the previous generation or like the previous generation before that. They're still getting free hardware to use and free models to use, right? And imagine if they do get to use the newest iteration of chips, right? If they do get to use Blackwell, imagine how powerful that is, how much of like a moat that is for them against any of the other companies that they're competing with. Just being able to use these chips, even if it's the last generation, even if it's the last generation, that's a cost they don't have to realize anymore. That money that they saved goes to the bottom line, and they stand to benefit, right? Even just recently, last week, Spire Global signs a multi-million-dollar contract with the help of this business deal with NVIDIA. Like this deal is basically their moat, in my opinion. Wrapping it up, all that's to say is companies, in my opinion, who sit on a large amount of proprietary and uniquely just quality data, those companies are the next like AI boom like thing, right? Next companies to invest in. Do you guys have any like examples of companies sitting on a large amount of data that you think would benefit from this next cycle that I described? I mean, it might not even happen, right? I don't know. I'm just some dude, but do you guys have any examples? Let me know. Have a good one. See you soon.